Hello, sir. Good afternoon. Am I audible?
Yes, sir, you're audible. So
Hello.
you can continue with your session, sir. Thank you. Good morning.
Am I audible, sir?
Yes, yes, sir. Hello, yes,
Okay,
sir,
yes,
you're
sir.
audible.
Thank you so much. So, we are going to start today's sessions. So, in this session, we are going to discuss about Raspberry Pi and their programming, that how we can do programming in Raspberry Pi. And after that, we are going to discuss about IoT applications. So, first, we will start with the IoT application using Arduino, that how we can send data on the cloud. And after that, we are going to discuss about Raspberry Pi applications using Arduino application using cloud. Then we are going to discuss about Raspberry Pi. Yes. So let me share with you PPT. Okay. So let me share with you PPT. Be with me. I'm just going to share with you. Yes. Yes. So we can make any system automatic using Arduino, but how we can make some devices and small devices and smart devices using IoT and with Arduino. So today I'm having one device that I will share at the end, that how you can use some smart devices and how you can build it. So one very a smart sanitizer dispenser I'm having right now. So that I'm going to fitting it right now, and I will share with you that how you can use it for different applications. So uh, yes, so very important part that we are going to discuss. We can interface different sensors, LM35 sensor, PIR sensor. We can do graphical coding also using ultrasonic sensor. Ultrasonic sensor is very important. With the help of that, you can make social distancing gadget, that you can make it with the help of this ultrasonic sensor. And you can use temperature sensor for detecting any environmental temperatures. So you can detect, you can use LDR sensor for light intensity, that we have already discussed. You can use relay module. So this one is very important part when we are going to make any kind of IoT applications. So what we have to do, we have to deploy that application on a hardware. So how we can deploy any application on a hardware? For that we have to use these things. Then we have to use it. So let me share with you. Yes. Okay. So over here, uh, we can use relay module for controlling any AC load. So if we want to operate or we want to control any AC load, we can control it using this relay module. Yes. So I'm going to fitting that smart device that recently I have just bought it today. I just received it yesterday. So that I want to share with you. That is very interesting device. You will like it. Yes. Okay. So let's let it continue over here. This one is relay working. Now we are going to discuss module is working and how we can use it for different applications. So that I'm going to discuss it. So this one is Wi-Fi module. So whenever we have to perform any IoT application using Arduino, So we are going to use this Wi-Fi module over here. So this Wi-Fi module is with the name of ESP8266. This one is one of the cost-effective Wi-Fi module. So how we can use it? Let's see. So over there are 2 to 4 to 6 or to 8. 8 pins is there in this Wi-Fi module, but only we are generally using 2 pins for sending data and receiving data. This device is also working as a serial communication device that we have used Bluetooth module. Over there we have used 4 pins. Over here also we have to use 4 pins, for 2 pins for giving power and 2 pins for receiving signal and sending signal in TX and RX, that we can use it. So over here what we are going to do, we are going to use this Wi-Fi module and we are going to interface it. So for making it quick, that how we can interface it, so I will share with you connection also. Yes, these are connections of this Wi-Fi module. So how you can interface this with the Arduino, and you can make your Arduino with a IoT based device to connect it with the cloud. So how you can send data to the cloud, for that you need this Wi-Fi module, and you have to make a connection of this Wi-Fi module with your device. So now what I'm going to do, I'm going to use this module and going to interface it and going to send data on the cloud. So this device will operate it on 3 volt. So why I have used this resistance over here, because we are going to provide 3 volt logic over here, but somehow from TX and RX pin the voltage will come over here, that will be 5 volt, because that Arduino will operate on a 5 volt logic. For that we have used one voltage divider over here. This one is a voltage divider, so that we have used over here, and we have connected it and we have converted that 5 volt signal into 3.3 volt signal. Mean we have used logic converter over here, that you can use it. So that we have to connect with the RX pin of it, because it's receiving from that RX pin, and we are connecting this with the TX pin. You can connect with hardware also, TX and RX, and you can use other pin also. These pins are known as software serial pin. So let's come to device. Yes. So now rather than using this Arduino plus this Wi-Fi module, I'm going to use a combined module. Combined module means Arduino plus Wi-Fi integrated module. So over there, I no need to make a connection over there, and I can do interfacing over there in a very simple way. So how you can use it? So this one is a Arduino plus Wi-Fi module that I'm going to use it. So that module I'm having right now. So in this module, what we have to do it, we have to, this one is a Wi-Fi module and this one is a Arduino Uno device. So over here you can see this one is a Arduino Uno microcontroller, or we can use this device as a Arduino Uno separately, or you can use it as a separately Wi-Fi module, or you can integrate it with Arduino Uno plus Wi-Fi module. So 3 configuration is there. First one is you can use it separate as a Arduino Uno. Second configuration is you can use it as a separate Wi-Fi module. Third usability of this device is you can use it Arduino Uno plus Wi-Fi module. Both you can integrate it, you can use it. So I'm going to show you how to use it as Arduino Uno. Then after that, I'm going to show you third application of using it Arduino Uno plus Wi-Fi. So these 2 things is required for IoT applications. So let's see how we can do it. So these are configuration. These configuration are very important. This one is a DIP switch configurations, means there is one DIP switch, this one. So this switch, you have to use it for configuring it. So this switch you have to use for configuring it. So this side is on, this side is off. So how you can on it, off it, that you can do it. So what configuration you have to use it, that defined with the help of that table that I shared with you in upcoming slide. So yes, that you can see it. So mean if you want to use this device as Arduino Uno and Wi-Fi module, both integrated module, Arduino Uno plus Wi-Fi module. So what you have to do it? So this one is Arduino Uno plus Wi-Fi module. ESP stand for Wi-Fi. This stand for Uno, Arduino 8 Mega Uno. So when you are going to use it a Uno plus Wi-Fi, then which pin you have to turn it on, which pin you have to turn it off, that you have to remember it. I'm going to use it in upcoming sessions, upcoming slides. Yes. So mean when your 2 number pin and 3 number pins are on, then it is connected. I mean you are going to use it as a Arduino Uno plus Wi-Fi module. Both are integrated and both are connected. But at that time, very important points. When you're going to connect this Wi-Fi module with the Arduino, at that time you cannot upload program in this device. Why it is so? Reason behind that, when we are going to connect any device with this, so when we are going to upload any program over here, so the TX RX pin of this Arduino device is connected with Wi-Fi module. At that time, you will not able to upload program because serial communication can be possible with 1-to-1. But when you are going to connect Arduino Uno plus Wi-Fi module, so Wi-Fi module will communicate with the Arduino and Arduino will communicate with the Wi-Fi module. At that time, you will not able to upload your program on the Arduino. That is very important. So how you can use it as an Arduino device? So this configuration you have to use as a Arduino device. So how you can use it as an Arduino device? So now you can see it. So if you want to use it as an Arduino device, so you have to use USB plus Arduino. Mean you are going to communicate this Arduino with computer. Mean you want to upload program from the computer. So how you can upload program from the computer? That is very interesting. So over here, you have to turn, sorry, their second configuration, turn off 1 and 2 pin and turn on 3 and 4 pin. 3 and 4 DIP switch pin, you have to turn it on, and all other pin you have to turn it off. So that is configuration of uploading program in the Arduino or using this device as a Arduino Uno. So if you want to use it as the Arduino Uno, then 3-4 pins should be on, and if you want to connect Wi-Fi module with the Arduino, then you have to on 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 should be off. These are two configurations generally we are going to use. These other configuration are for using this Wi-Fi module as a separate device. Without connecting with the Arduino, you can use Wi-Fi module separately also, and you can program it also over there. That also you can do it. These are advanced things that I'm not going to discuss right now. So let's get started how you can use it. So these are few AT commands, because that Wi-Fi module or any serial communication device we are going to use. These all serial communication device, they are communicating with the help of AT command. So we can use AT command also, but we are not going to use right now AT command, because for AT command you need some basic knowledge about AT commands. You will get confused about AT commands. So I'm going to use simple library and simple program so that you can use it in a very simple way. So these are few AT commands that also you can try it and you will able to use it. So these are adding, mean if you want to directly upload only program in this ESP module, that also you can do it over here. So let me come to, okay, these things you can do it. Board also you can add it, separate board. So that I'm not going to discuss right now. Okay. So this one cloud we are going to use it. So there are two mode of cloud you can use it. This one is Sane Cloud, that is open source cloud that I'm going to use right now, and I'm going to upload program on this device. You can use this one also, and you can use that Remote XY also. So if you are willing to know that I should use that Wi-Fi module in the Remote XY, then only I will discuss that Remote XY part. Otherwise, you can do it with your own also, because that is very easy part. Just you have to do same configuration and you will able to control your appliance using that Remote XY also. So that is very simple part. Now I'm going to discuss about that Sane Cloud. This one is a Sane Cloud. Over there you need some basic programming knowledge, and with the help of that you will able to send data on the cloud, and you can monitor it, you can control it, you can send notification also. So let me discuss it first, and after that at the end of this, if I got time, I will discuss that Remote XY also, that how you can send data on the cloud using Remote XY, how you can control appliance from the remote area. That also you can do it. How you can send data on the cloud from the remote area. So that also we can do in Remote XY, but over there in the Sane Cloud, you need some programming knowledge, and that is embedded C programming that we are going to use in the Arduino. That is little bit knowledge is required. So kindly take one notepad with you and note it down all the steps that I'm going to tell you right now. You can install that app also, Sane.my device, and you will able to monitor and control appliance with the help of that app also. So now let's get started it. So how you can do it? First of all, you have to open that sane.mydevice.com, this website, and you have to do sign up. First thing is you have to do sign up over there. So after doing sign up, it will you will find option like this. Choose Arduino to start our IoT projects. So you have to select your Arduino. So if you want to interface with Raspberry Pi also, that also you can do it. And if you want to interface any kind of LoRa module, that also you can interface it. So I will share with you some application of LoRa module also over here. If we want to upload our code in cloud and access it from there, can we do it? Yes, that also we can do it. Access it means we cannot control our hardware. So hardware को हम control नहीं कर पाएंगे, but we can control Raspberry Pi. So Raspberry Pi is having a feature, we can control Raspberry Pi also, but we cannot control, we cannot program that device from that cloud directly, but we can control it. We can control from the cloud also. Mean if you are going to interface any AC appliance with your Arduino using relay modules, so that you can do it, and you will able to control from the cloud also and from mobile app also, that also you can do it. So let's see how you can do it. So first part, what you have to do login over there, sign up over there, and after doing sign up, you have to choose your Arduino board or your Wi-Fi or Raspberry Pi board. So I'm going to use with the Arduino first, then I will share with you the Raspberry Pi that how you can use it. Yes. So after doing this, you can go to, you can connect that second step is how you want to connect your Arduino. So how you can connect it. So first of all, you can install that Arduino software in your system. Otherwise, you can use cloud also. But I will show you right now with Arduino downloaded version, downloaded software on your computer, so that you will get familiar with that software also. So then after that, you have to add library of Sane MQTT. So previously I have added one library of that that remote XY. Similar way you have to add library of Sane MQTT. But there is two steps, those are very crucial and very important, that I will let you know, so that you have to see it very carefully. Then after that, you have to go to your program. After adding library, you have to go to for third step. Then you have to copy code, and you have to check library. You can see that go to sketch, include library, and over there you can see Sane MQTT library is added. After adding library, you will able to see it. Okay. So after adding it, third step is over here. That is connect your device. Mean how you are going to connect Arduino with the internet. For that you need a Wi-Fi device. Either you can use Ethernet shield over here, or you can select Arduino plus Wi-Fi module. So I'm going to use Arduino plus ESP8266 Wi-Fi module. So this one we have to select it, and after these are our address like MQTT address and MQTT record, password, client ID, and their server address. This one is your device. So when you are going to do all the setup, you will able to find this one waiting for a board. So when you are going to connect your hardware, then only you will able to send data on the cloud. Without hardware, you cannot simulate it. So over here, what I'm going to do, I'm going to connect it, and all the setup, I'm going to do it practically. Let's see it, how you can do it. So first of all, what you have to open it, you have to open this link sane.mydevice.com, and after that you have to interface it. So let me share with you my screen. Okay, so over here, what I'm going to do, I'm going to open my sane.mydevice.com. So this one is sane.mydevice.com. Okay, so after opening the Sane account.sane.mydevice.com, so you have to do sign in over there, Sane my device. So I'm going to do sign in because I have created my account earlier. So after doing sign in, you will able to open it. Then you will able to do sign in over there in a very simple way. Just you have to create account, sign up it, and then after that you have to do sign in over there. So after doing sign in, what we have to do is, this one is your dashboard. You will not able to find it first time. So first time you will not able to find it. So you will find it later on when you are going to create first setup. So after that you will able to see this dashboard like this. So few projects, few application of IoT that I'm going to share it over here. So let's see it, few applications. So these are projects that I have created over there. So this one is a smart energy meter. So that smart energy meter, you can see it, you will able to monitor all the parameter over there in your smart energy meter. So how you can monitor it, that you can see it. This one is power you can see it, and after that this one is a temperatures. So temperature also you can monitor it. This one is a signal strength. So this one we did it with LoRaWAN. LoRaWAN is a device, that is advanced device for sending data wirelessly up to 10 kilometers. For research application, there is a huge scope of LoRaWAN that we can use it. Yes. So over here, you can see it. So what you can do it over here. Yes. So these are temperatures. These are bill amount. Daily you are getting your bill amount also, and after that you can see your locations. You can also find your location of smart energy meter where you have deployed it, and all the data is being stored in the cloud. So all your daily data will be get stored on your cloud, and you will able to see it. So monthly data, weekly data, all the data you will able to see it over there on the cloud, and you can download also. You will able to download it, and you can put some analytics also on the cloud also. That also can be done. So over there is no data currently. So when you are going to make it live, then all the data you will able to see. Okay. So let me share with you a few more applications. So this one is smart energy meters. Then after that, yes, these are a few more interesting projects. This one is weather monitoring stations. Like you can monitor weather, air quality, and humidity, and also you can monitor over there in this cloud. Like as I told you, there was one incident of gas leakage. So you can do one more thing over there. You can make it weather monitoring station, or you can make it like gas leakage detection also over there in a cloud, and you can send SMS also. How you can send SMS, that I'm going to share with you. That kind of device you can make it, and you can propose to government also. So that also you can do it. So that also you can do it. Okay. So over here you can see it. This one is humidity, temperature, air quality, and this one is location also at NITR Chandigarh. We have deployed it so that you can see it, and after that, but you can do it. So a few more projects that I'm going to share with you first. Then after that, I'm going to show you practically how you can do it. This one is a lift rescue system. So mean lift rescue system is that if there is any kind of power failure in a lift, so what you can do it when there is power failure in a lift, so you can use this kind of emergency system. Means if anyone is stuck in any particular lift or particular floor, that person can press that emergency button. After pressing that emergency button, so the operators or as well as the senior managers or security in charge, they will able to see it. They will able to see it properly, like which lift and which floor that person is stuck, and they can rescue that person in a very simple way without having any electricity over there. They will able to rescue it. That can be done. So don't worry, I'm going to explain all the steps. I'm going to do it practically. So we are going to do it practically. So don't worry about it. Yes. So these are few projects. Similar way, there are many more case studies over here. So I'm not going to discuss all the case studies. Just I'm going to give you a quick idea that how you can use it. So one project, more project that I'm going to share with you over here. Yes, this one. IoT motor. So this one is a condition monitoring of a machines. So mean if you want to monitor your motor or induction motor or your machines, that you can do condition monitoring on the cloud, like temperature you can monitor, few parameter you can take it, like different fault in a motor that you can diagnose, and you will able to do condition monitoring. So over there you can monitor voltage, motor speed, current, and each and everything you can monitor it. Now what I'm going to do, I'm going in a setup part. So what you have to do, first of all, go to add new device and widget. You have to select it. So I'm going to select device and widget. So that you have to select it, device and widget, add new device and widget. So after clicking it, you will able to find all these steps, that which device you are going to use it. So kindly note down all the steps, those are very much important. So let's see all the steps. So which device we have to select first? We have to select Arduino microcontroller, that we are going to use it. So I'm going to select our Arduino microcontroller right now. So select it, this microcontroller you have to select it, and after selecting this microcontroller, what you have to do it, you have to go for second step. This one is the second step. So it is saying that connect with Ethernet or Wi-Fi, make sure your Arduino is connected with PC, install Arduino IDE if you are not having, and then after that you can see add chain library. So you have to add library first. So I will let you know that how you can add library also. Let me go ahead, then I will add library also. Okay. So over here, what I'm going to do it, this one is second step, I'm going in a third step. So this one is a step number 3. So in this step, you can see it, you have to select your board. This one is a step number 3. So there is many requests from the participant that kindly repeat that third number step, so that I'm going to repeat it over here. So in this third number step, what you can do it, you can see it over here. What I'm going to do it, I'm going to select my Arduino board. So which Arduino board you are going to use it? I'm going to use Arduino Uno plus Wi-Fi module. So we have to select Arduino Uno over here. This one is Arduino Uno. So what we have to do in third step, we have to select Arduino Uno. So as I'm going to select it, so there is scroll down list of different Wi-Fi connections or Ethernet connection. I mean how you are going to connect Arduino Uno with Wi-Fi, that is very important point. So I'm going to connect my Arduino Uno with Wi-Fi module. This one is a ESP Wi-Fi module. So we have to tick mark this. We have to tick it. So as I'm going to tick it, again repeating, first we have to go to step 3. Over there you have to select Arduino Uno, and after that you have to select your Wi-Fi module. So as I'm going to tick it, your code will generate it automatically. So your code will generate it automatically. So this code you have to use it. So no need to write code, just you have to do few modification over there in a code. That is very important. So over there what we are going to use, I'm going to copy this code. I'm going to copy it. So after copying it, you have to upload, you have to paste this code in Arduino software. So what I'm going to do, I'm going to open my Arduino software over here, and I'm going to upload this code in the Arduino. So after uploading code, you can make it done. So it's showing waiting. You can change your Arduino device also name. So that name I'm going to change it. So I'm going to make it G V E C C E W. Okay. So this one name I have written over there. So it's showing waiting. Waiting, why it is showing? Because we have not uploaded any program in Arduino and we are not sending any data on the cloud. So first what we have to do it, we have to open Arduino IDE. So this one is my Arduino software over here. So this one is my Arduino software. So are you able to see my Arduino software, Arduino IDE? This one is Arduino IDE. Are you able to see it? So I have to open it. Okay, let me share it. Okay. So now are you able to see it? This one is my Arduino. I'm going to open new window. So you can open with the help of this new window. This one is my Arduino empty window. So you can minimize previous program, and I'm going to open it. Over here, I'm going to paste that code. That code I have copied from that cloud. That code I'm going to paste it by right clicking it, paste it. So I pasted my code over here. So after pasting code, what we have to do, we have to add library over there. So how to add that library, that is very important. So how you can add library? So earlier we have used zip library. Now I'm going to tell you very interesting technique, that is second technique. Without downloading in zip format, you will able to add library. So how you can add it, let's see it, how you can do it. So we have to go to sketch, and then in a sketch you have to click on include library, and you no need to click on add zip library. You have to click on manage library. Again repeating, go to sketch, include library, then click on manage library. So I'm going to click on manage library. So it means, I mean, your library is being get managed over here. So how, what you can do it, you can search your libraries. So I'm going to search Sein MQTT. So after searching it, Sein MQTT. MQTT is a protocol for secure platform for sending data and receiving data. So that I'm going to select it. So over there, this one is my library. Only one library you will able to see it. I'm going to select it, and after that you can select version and you will able to install it, because I have installed it previously, so no need to install it again. So after installing it, what we have to do is we have to make it okay. So your library will get added over there in your Arduino. So your library is added, but you have to add one more library for Wi-Fi module, because we are going to use Arduino plus Wi-Fi. For that you have to add one more library. So which library you have to use it? So that is mentioned over here in step 1. ESP8266 serial library you have to add it. That is zip file. So that file you have to find it. That file is available in your library that you have added it right now. That library you have added it recently, that is Sein MQTT. In that library, over there is one more library that is Sein, that is ESP8266 library .zip. So that library, first of all we have to find it, and that library we have to add it in the Arduino also. That is second library. That is very important point. So how you can add it? Either you can search, you can copy this path and you can search in your computer. So I'm going to use it, copy it, and you will able to see that library. You can go to your computers, and I'm going in my path. So you have to go to your path, and over there you have to paste it, this path. So in this path I'm going to enter it. So you will able to see that zip library. So this library, either you can copy it or paste it in a different location, or if you want to add this library, how you can add this library? You have to go to Sketch, include library, and add zip library. So that path is over there. So I'm going to add this library. So for that we have to go to my document. In my document we have to go to Arduino. Same path I'm going to open it, or either you can paste your path also. So I'm going to paste that path. So after pasting your path, you will able to open it. So it's showing some error because library is not available in that path. Again, I'm going to do it. Include library, add zip library, paste your path over here. Yes. Enter it. So the specify contain a valid library. Again, I have to go to over there. Library is not added. Include library, manage library, add zip library. Sorry, we have to click on add zip, not manage library. So I'm going to cancel it. So let it update. After that I will cancel it, or otherwise it will get hang over there. So it's completed. Close it. So what I'm going to do, I'm going in Sketch, include library, add zip file, and we have to go to my document, Arduino. I'm going step by step. In Arduino you have to find libraries. So this one is libraries. So in library you have to find Sein MQTT library. So where is my Sein MQTT library? This one is Sein MQTT master. I'm going to open it. Over there in extra, you have to go to extra, because that same path is over there. You have to go to my document, Arduino library, Sein MQTT extra, and library. In extra we have to go to library. Over there this file is. We have to select it. So this zip file we have to select it and open it. Mean directly we have to add this library also. That is second library. You can directly download it also separately from the internet, or if that library is already available in their earlier library, then that also you can use it. So I added my library, saying that library name is already exists because I have already added it previously. So now what we have to do it, we have to verify it. So as we are going to verify the program, it will show some error. So what error it will show, that we have to see it first. So it's showing that serial 1. So what we have to do over here, we have to remove that serial 1, we have to remove it. What we have to remove it? Only one part out of that, that is 1. 1 we have to remove it over here, because that serial 1 is being used for Arduino Mega. For Arduino Uno, no need to use serial one, only serial is needed. So after doing it serial, it will work fine. So now after that we have to use SSID. The meaning of SSID is that your Wi-Fi name over there you are going to connect it. So you can connect, you can use Wi-Fi name over here. So I'm going to use my mobile hotspot. So that Wi-Fi I'm going to use. So with the help of that, my Wi-Fi module get connected and it will send data on the cloud. So my name of hotspot, I'm going to write it over here. So then after that, I'm going to type my password of my Wi-Fi. Okay, that I did it. So after 3 changes I did it. Till now I changes only 3 parts, 3 things over here. First one, I have written my SSID name, my hotspot name, my Wi-Fi name. With the help of that Arduino Wi-Fi module, I want to connect with my Wi-Fi. Then only it will send data. This one is my hotspot name. This one is my hotspot password. So if there is available Wi-Fi module, that also you can use it, or available Wi-Fi network, that also you can use it. So that password you have to define it. After that, 2 changes I did it over here. 1 change I did it over here. Serial one I have removed over here. Then after that, we have to go to down. So this one is a void loop. No need to change it. So this one is a saying out default. This one is a function. So this function we can use for sending data on the cloud. So this function we have to do it. Over there we have to do changes. So this one is saying out default. So default means there are different channel we have to use it. So these are channel data. So over there we have to make it saying out 1. That is also written at the top, that you can same copy it and you can paste it also over here. Control C, I'm going to paste it. Or you can edit it also. Saying out 1. 1 is channel number. So there are 7 to 8 channels. With the help of that, those are virtual channel, mean with the help of that you are sending data on the cloud, so that you can identify it and you will able to do it. So that you can do it. So I'm going to do it. Hold for a second. Okay. So now after that, what we can do, after doing this, what we can do, we have to do some more modification. If we are using channel number 1, so over here also we have to use same channel. So I'm going to use channel 1, and what this one is a function for sending data on the cloud. So what value you want to send on the cloud, that you can send using this virtual write. This one is a sending data virtually on the cloud. So this one is a virtual channel 1. This one is a value. So if I want to send my analog sensor value, so analog read, you have to use it. Then after that you have to use A0 pin for reading data from A0 pin. So I'm going to read any analog signal, that value I want to send on the cloud. So this one I'm going to do, I will connect one potentiometer with this pin and I will send data on channel number 1. I will show the meaning of channel number 1, don't worry about it. When we are going to do it practically, then we will able to see it. So now what I'm going to do, I'm going to run it. Going to run it mean I'm going to compile it. No changes, no other changes, you no need to do any other change. So what changes I did, again repeating your Wi-Fi name and password, and after that serial 1 to serial, and then after that in saying out, default to saying out 1, and saying virtual write 1, analog read, that is A0. So these changes I did it. So after that what you have to do it, you have to upload it. First verify it, is it working or not. If the library is not added, it will show error. Otherwise it will get compiled properly. So let me see it is compiling or not. So wait for a second. So it is compiling, then compiling is done. So after that what we have to do is, after doing this, you have to upload it. So how you can upload it? For that I'm going to use my device, and over there I'm going to upload it. So let me show you how I can upload it. Wait for a second, I'm just going to upload it. Yes. So what I'm going to use over here, I'm going to use my cable, and let me share with you my video. Yes. So let me stop it. So this one is my device. This one is my Arduino plus Wi-Fi module that I shown you. This one is my DP switch over here. So you have to turn it on and off. Now what is the status of pin? Are you able to see it? So 1 and 2 is on and all other is off. Let me make it more stable so that you will be able to see it. Now what is happening? What is status of pin? Are you able to see? Yes, 1 and 2 is on and all other pins are off. UNO plus Wi-Fi. So 1 and 2 pin are on and all other pins are at off state. So mean it's connected with Wi-Fi. So when we have to upload any program, so what we have to do it, you can use any screwdriver or you can use any pin. With the help of that, you can change those pins. So I'm going to make off 1 and 2 and turn on 3 and 4 pin, because that was the configuration of Arduino Uno. So we have to upload program in this Arduino Uno. So I have to connect my USB cable with this. So this one is micro USB cable. I have connected it. Second end of this USB we have to connect with computer, and after that we have to upload program. So that I'm going to connect it. Yes, I connected it. Power is coming in my board. So this TX RX LED is blinking. So what we have to do now? After that we have to go to code. So let me make it highlight. Okay. So kindly see that video also, and as well as I'm going to share with you screen. Both things you have to see it simultaneously. You can change your view of viewing it. Okay. So now I'm going to share with you screen also. This one is my code. This code we have to upload it. So first of all, what we have to do it, we have to select port. So when we are going to upload any code, we have to go to tool and we have to select board, that is Arduino Uno, and port, that is COM10. We have to select it, COM10, and after that we have to upload it. So I'm going to upload it. So this one I'm going to upload it. So it's compiling code, and after that it will upload it. It's uploading it right now, and my code will get uploaded. So TX RX LED is blinking and uploading is done. So after uploading code, what we have to do it, we have to we have to connect Wi-Fi module with this device. For that, what we have to do, we have to turn on 1 and 2 pin and turn off 3 and 4 pin. So I'm going to do it. Turn on 1 and 2 pin. Only 4 pin you have to change is 1, 2, 3, 4. Their status you have to change it. And after that, I'm going to turn on my hotspot. So I'm going to turn on my mobile hotspot. So that hotspot you have to turn it on. And after that, first of all, you have to check in your mobile phone that how many devices is connected with your hotspot, so that you can recognize it. And after changing any pin you are going to change in your hardware, you have to press this reset button after every change so that it can get reset. So I just press this reset button, and after that I'm going to check my hotspot device. So let me check how many devices connected. There is no device connected. So let me set my password. Password is not set. So I just set up my password. So still no device is connected. Let me refresh it again. So let me share my mobile screen also so that you can visualize it. Let it get connected. So my password is 876543321. Okay, there I have put it in limitation, allow device. Let me disable it. Yes. So I'm going to share with you my screen also so that you can visualize it. Let it get connected. Okay, now my device get connected over here. I want to show that how you will be able to see it. So after uploading program, as you are going to upload program over here and uploading done, and as your devices get connected with Wi-Fi and you are going to connect 1 and 2 pin on and 3 and 4 pin off, after that you have to check your cloud. So now I'm going to check my cloud. This one is my cloud. Yes, automatically this will come. Automatically from that waiting window to this window will come automatically, and after that value will come over here. You will able to see channel 1 value, that is analog pin A0 pin. So I'm going to add this channel. So after adding it, you can see my device get connected. So let me share with you my mobile phone also. This one is mobile screen. You can see in your hotspot there is one device connected, so that you can see. So if this device is not connected, it means your Wi-Fi name is not correct, and that is case sensitive. Wi-Fi name is case sensitive. So you have to write in the same format that is written in your mobile phone, that Innovation Lab, whatever you have written. So a password should be same, then only it will get connected. And your device, mobile phone should also have an internet package, data pack, so that it can send data on the cloud. Otherwise it will not work. Let me stop it. Yes. So now some participant has some queries. Let me see it. I will show you again also. We have to upload it again. So again we have to upload it. Don't worry about it. 2-3 times we have to do it. So after uploading code over here, so this value is coming. Now I have not connected any sensor. That dummy error signal is coming. That error signal or some frequency from a surrounding that is coming by default over here. That is error signal. So now what I'm going to do, I'm going to connect any potentiometer over here on this A0 pin. So I'm going to connect my shield. I'm having a one shield, that is Arduino, that is simple sensor shield over here, that you can see it. Over there, one port meter is connected, this one. This one is port meter over here in this shield. Are you able to see that shield? This shield I'm going to use. You can use any potentiometer also. So this one is my port meter over here. That is connected with A0 pin. So over there RGB also, LED also, and there is simple LED also. So I'm going to use this shield directly, and over there this pin also you can see it, A0. Are you able to see it, A0? A0 rotations. Okay. So A0, I'm going to connect it. A0 means potentiometer is connected with A0. This potentiometer I'm going to connect with my Arduino plus Wi-Fi module. So there is nothing in the shield, that there is only one potentiometer directly also you can connect it. So after connecting it, I connected it. So my potentiometer is ready over here. Now you can see your value will get changed. So my potentiometer, I'm going to set it at 0 value. So this one is at 0 value. So over there, my value will get update on the cloud, and you will able to see it, that will be 0. So earlier yesterday I told you that maximum value you can read on analog channel, that is 0 to 1023. Sorry, it is on maximum positions. So let me change it to minimum position 0. Now you will able to read that value on the cloud, that will be 0. So are you able to see that value on the cloud? That value is 0. Okay, have you seen it on the cloud? Are you able to see the value on the cloud, that is 0? Yes or no? Yes, that's great. So now I'm going to change it. So I'm going to make it maximum. So maximum potentiometer value you will able to see over there 1023. You will able to see 1023. So are you able to see 1023 on the cloud? Are you able to see or not? 1023 on the cloud. Is it visible or not? Yes, it is visible. So these are value, whatever data you are sending from your Arduino hardware, it is going on the cloud. So now I'm going to put some condition over there, some analytics over there. So what analytics I'm going to do, so let me make it value some less than 500 or something like that. This one is our values over here. So what I'm going to do now, over here in this cloud, I'm going to do few modification. Modification means I'm going to do setup over there, setting. So this one is not looking good. So I'm going to change channel number to port meter. Port meter reading. Then channel number is 1. Choose icon. So you can gauge. You can take it gauge also, like this, save it. So you will able to see over there port meter 1, that is channel number 1 was there, but this one is now port meter. You can change size also. So that also you can do it. There is a lot of modification, and also you can see the like detail and chart also. This one is live value, you can see it over here. This one is values, live values, real data of port meter. Live value you can see it over here. So that will be in between over here. So in a day, 24 hours data also you can see it. So it's very less now. In hourly you will able to see all the data. So data is also being stored on the cloud, and you can download also that chart, and after that you can see all the data also over here in the format of data. So whatever data you are sending from that sensor, that is being get stored on the cloud over here. So you can see minute data, hourly data, that all data is being stored. With this one is sensor ID, this one port meter reading, channel number, these are device names, and then after that you will able to see their units, values. So that these are values at the end. So these are potential meter value, whatever value you are reading at which time, you will able to see it, and you will able to download also all the data you will able to download, and after that you can put any analytics, whatever analytics you want to put over there. Now after doing this, I'm going to overview again. Yes, this one is my channel. Now I'm going to set one threshold. Threshold mean alert, trigger and alert. So how we can set trigger and alert, that is a very important point. So I'm going to set a trigger over here. So let's see how you can set it. So trigger means, if that value of that sensor will get increased at threshold limit, then you should receive some SMS. So how you can receive SMS, that is very important. How you can receive mail when your sensor is going to cross a threshold limit. Like if you are going to read LPG gas, so if LPG gas is leakage is going to took place, and that going to cross some threshold limit, and then you want to receive some SMS, that also you can do it. So let's suppose it this sensor is being deployed on a particular area, and this reading we are getting is that is gas leakage reading. So this one is normal condition. If that value is going to cross 500, then it means there is gas leakage. That is dangerous. So I'm going to user menu. Over there is option of trigger and alert. Again repeating, go to user menu, go to trigger and alert. Trigger and alert. So in trigger and alert, what we have to do it, you have to create a new trigger. So I'm going to create new trigger over here. New trigger. So in this trigger, you have to name your trigger. So port alert or gas leakage. Gas leakage. Gas. So let me correct it. Just simply write gas detection. Okay, gas detection, I'm going to do it. After that, what we have to do it, this one is your live device. So it's saying that if and then. So what condition you want to put over there, that you have to use it. So I'm going to use the Arduino device. So you can drag it, drop it, and after that you have to select your device. So in the scroll down menu over there, you can select your device. So this one you have to select it, port meter reading. So this one you have to select it. So I have selected my port meter, and after that you have to set your limit. So minimum value you can make it 0, maximum value you can make it 1023, and these are steps, that how many steps you want. And if that value going to, that value is going to above that value, so I'm going to set threshold, that is 500. Okay. So if my sensor value is going to cross 500, so I'm going to receive SMS. That value can be about gas leakage or can be about any liquid leakage, that you can select it. So after that, what we have to do it, I have select 500. After selecting 500, if that value goes beyond that 500, if sensor value go above 500, then you should receive SMS. So you want to set up notifications. So I'm going to select both, and I'm going to add recipient. So I'm going to use my number. So you can write your number also. I will send notification to you also. 8396000340. This one is my number, 8396000340, and I'm going to add one more. So kindly type your number in the chat box if you want to get notification and want to check it out that it is working or not. So I'm going to open your chat box if you have anyone has typed it. Okay, if you don't want it, let it. Okay, so you have to type with 91 also, plus 91 also you have to use it. So I'm going to use one more number I have received. So I'm going to use plus 91 and this one number. So you can check that which one number I'm typing. So one more number I'm going to use it. So many requests is coming. Okay, Sai Sarup Mishra, I'm going to take your number. So random number I'm picking, I'm not going to do any kind of biasing. Just random number as I'm getting it, I'm picking it. So 2-3 number, I'm going to take it over here. Yes. Okay, one more number I'm going to take it. Those are typing in a plus 91, then those number only I'm taking it. Okay, I'm taking Sandeep number. Okay, so I'm going to enter it. So multiple number you can add it, and you can write your mail number, mail ID also. I will send you mail also via notification. You can type your mail ID also. So I'm going to type my email ID, innovateskill@gmail.com, and you can also mention your mail ID. So I will send notification to your mail ID also. Yes. So mail ID, I'm just waiting for your mail ID. One mail ID I have received. I'm going to copy it. And one more you can create it. So multiple you can add it. I'm just taking a small example. So let's add it. And after that, what we have to do it? We have to save this notification. So I'm going to save it. So over there, this option is save. So I'm going to save it. Sensor. Okay, this one, my notification is being created over here. So don't worry, I have just taken 2-3 mail IDs. So don't worry, let me check it. So over here, what we have to do it. So I set up my notifications. So if I'm going to cross my value more than 500, so my trigger will run. So this one is my trigger over here, gas detections. So trigger is active. So let me go to my Arduino device and check the values. My value is right now 341. So now what I'm going to do in my hardware, I have used one sensor. Suppose it is a sensor, analog sensor. So I'm going to use this potentiometer and going to increase that value. And if that value is going to cross more than 500, so I should receive SMS. So let me see it. My value is 1023. So this value is greater than 500. So you are going to receive SMS. So if you are going to receive SMS, kindly respond in the chat box and say you have received it. If you received SMS, so then you have to tell me that you have received SMS. Okay, but I have received in my phone. So I'm going to share with you my screen. So I have received it multiple. So have you received it? Have you received that SMS? On mail also you can check it out. On mail also you can check it out. Yes, received. That's great. That's great. You received it. So mean it's saying that you have crossed that threshold limit at your device. So let me share with you my screen also so that you will be able to visualize it. Yes, it's connecting. So after every second, 1 and 2 seconds, you are going to receive that notification. I think you are receiving a notification regularly. So that's great. So let me share with you my screen also. If those participants are not able to see, yes, this one is my screen. You can see it now. Yes, this one notification I have received. I'm going to open my SMS. It's saying that channel number 1. Let it open. Yes. It's saying that channel number 1 has reached the threshold value of 500. So it's saying that channel 1 has reached threshold of 500. This is connected to Arduino, this one. So this one is my Arduino device. So continuously, because we have reached that limit. So now what I'm going to do, I'm going back and I'm going to reduce my value. So as my value will get reduced or my environment will get stable, my environment will get normal, because if I detected my gas leakage, I can repair it and my environment will normal now. So now as my value will get reduced over here, less than my limit, threshold limit, so it will not send notification again and again. So its value is 399. So now you will not receive notification again. So when if your sensor will reach that limit, then only you are going to receive SMS or mail also. That also you can check it via mail. So you will get notification. So many person you can send notification. Now you are doing it free of cost. Nothing paid over here. This one is free and you will able to enjoy it. Yes. Receive 5 times. Very good. So you received it 5 times. So let me check my trigger, how many times it ran. So go to my trigger and alert. So go to my trigger and check my device. Arduino, this one ran. So you have received, I think, 5 times, but it ran on 9 times. You can check it out. I think 9 messages you have received. So that you can check it out. So now after that, you can disable also your trigger if you don't want to receive continuous message or like that. That also you can do it. So this one is only receiving part, that how you can monitor data and you can send notification. Now I'm going to control it. So if you want to control any appliance, what you can do, you can add some slider or some button also over there. So that I'm going to do right now. Let's see it, how you can add some device over here. So over here, what I'm going to do, I'm going to add new device and widget. And over there, I'm going to select actuator. So I'm going to add actuator, light, motor, whatever you want to do. Generic also you can do light, select light switch, and light switch, select device. So which device you are using? This one, second device. Then channel number, virtual. So which channel you want to use? Because one number we have used already, so we have to use separate channel, not same number that we have used for reading it. So writing any data from the cloud, we have to use another channel. So I can take 3 number also. So 1 to 8 you can check any number. Choose widget. For button, I'm going to select button. So then after that you can get sketch file. You code also you can get over here, but complete code will not work for you, because this one is code for Ethernet shield, but you are using Wi-Fi module. So for that, what we have to do, only the small part you have to copy it, which part you needed it. So it's defined in channel number 3 over there. This one we have to define it, and we have to use actuator pin. So if we are going to give output in the Arduino to any pin, which one I want to control with that switch, that pin we have to define it. So this one also you have to define it in the pin mode when we are going to give output. So that also we have to define it. So only one thing you have to change it, that is chain out, this one. Chain out, channel number, which channel number you are going to use, that you have to tell it. Sorry, chain in we have to use it. Chain in and channel number. So which channel number you are going to use, virtual channel, that is 3 number, and then you have to do modification over there. So this one block I'm going to copy it, this one code, and after that I'm going to make it okay, done. And then we have to go to Arduino. This one is Arduino sketch. Over there we have to replace it, because this one is saying in. So this one we have to replace it, saying in default with my code. So I'm going to paste it. This one was, I copied it. So over here, this one is virtual channel, but virtual channel is not defined in my program. So I'm going to use it directly 3. So wherever you will find virtual channel, replace it with channel number 3. So now actuator pin also I have not defined. You can use any pins, 12, 13, you can use it. So I'm going to use it 12 number pin. And over there also actuator pin, that is 12 number pin. So mean I'm going to give output on 12 number pin. So this pin also, when you are going to give output from the Arduino, so a setup, go to set over here, pin mode and 12 number output. You have to select 12 number pin, then comma and output. So that we have to use it. Okay. So this one we have defined that 12 number we are going to give output, and we are reading data from the cloud at channel number 3, and that data we are going to send on this 12 number pin. We are going to write it. So let's see how it is working. So how to upload code? For uploading code, same thing we have to do it that we did it earlier. So what step we have to do it for uploading code? 3, 4 we have to on it, and 1, 2 you have to off it in your device, because currently 1, 2 is on. So I'm going to off 1, 2, and 3, 4 we have to on it. So after doing it, we have to upload it. So how we can upload it? Click on upload button. It will ask for save. You can save it if you want to do it, but I don't want to save it. So I'm going to upload it. As I will upload it, my code will verify it and start uploading it. So it's compiling first, then after that it will start uploading it, and it's showing that some error, port is not exist, means we have to check our port. Go to tool, check port is not available. So I think we have used port somewhere else. Start it again, upload it again, check it out. Okay, so we have not pressed that reset button. So we have to press reset button also. Yes, now it is uploading. So code is uploading. After uploading code, what we have to do? We have to again turn on 1 and 2 pin and off 3, 4 pin. And then after that, don't forget to press that reset button. So after that, when you are going in a cloud, go in a cloud, over there add actuators, actuator I have added it. So my actuator will come in my device, and I will able to control my pins over there in my hardware. So let me share with you my LED. So this one is my LED that I'm going to use it. So my actuator is added. Now I'm going to connect LED over here in a very simple way. So let me connect it. 30 number ground pin and 12 number pin, because 12 number pin we have used for output. So this one is my LED. I have used it over here with my Arduino. This one is my device. So over here, what we can do, I'm going to show it hardware. This one is my hardware. Are you able to see my hardware? Are you able to see it? Respond in the chat box. Are you able to see this hardware? I'm uploading this code in the Arduino. So we have to upload code in the Arduino, then Arduino will communicate with Wi-Fi. So after uploading code, I'm going to connect Wi-Fi module with the Arduino using 1 and 2 pin. So we are uploading code in the Arduino, not in a Wi-Fi module. Wi-Fi module is doing communications. Okay. So now this one is my hardware. So now what I'm going to do, I'm going to press this button. So as I'm going to press this button, my LEDs get turned on. Are you able to see that LED? LED will get on. So I'm going to turn it off. So LED will get off. So are you able to see? This one I'm doing it in a cloud. So this one I'm doing it from the cloud. Again turn it on, it will get on. So it's again turn it off, it will get off. And simultaneously you are reading it, simultaneously you are giving output also. So that you can see it over here. Okay. So mean you will able to control your appliance also, and you will able to monitor also in this cloud. So many application you can do it over there in a very simple way. So that you can do it. That is about this cloud, and many more operation also you can do it. You can add slider also, and you can add sliders and many more things you can add over here in this cloud, and there are many modification options that you can do it. So now after doing this, we are coming back to Raspberry Pi. So now we are going to discuss about Raspberry Pi, that how you can interface the Raspberry Pi with this cloud. So over there, I'm going to show that how you can edit device widget. We have to go to add device. You have to select that Raspberry Pi, and then you have to use these two commands. These two commands you have to run on your Raspberry Pi. then Raspberry Pi will get interface with this cloud. So how you can do it? First of all, I'm going to tell you about Raspberry Pi, that which Raspberry Pi you can use it, and how you can install their operating systems and their Raspbian image, how you can do it. That I'm going to share with you. So let me open that Raspberry Pi first. Yes. So over here, I'm coming directly to Raspberry Pi. So after doing this, we can send data. Yes. So how you can control AC appliance? So if you want to control AC appliance with this Wi-Fi module, so how you can do it? You can connect connection like this, and you can connect relay module like this. So you can connect your Wi-Fi module with this, and after that at the output we have connected the LED. But now you have to, what you have to do it? You have to connect relay module for controlling AC appliance. So that relay module is available in the market with the cost of approximately 80 to 100 rupees, and you will be able to control your appliance with the help of that. So this one we have already discussed about Bluetooth. So now we are going to discuss about Raspberry Pi. These are major difference in Arduino and Raspberry Pi that you can see it. Raspberry Pi cost is 3,000 rupees, and Arduino cost is only 500 rupees for clone, and for original its cost is approximately 1500 to 1800 rupees that you can use it. So these are frequency, operating speed, and their RAM, and also. So the Raspberry Pi we are going to use for multi-purpose applications, and we can do programming in a Raspberry Pi using Scratch, IDE, or any kind of operating system. So earlier I told you Sane Cloud. Over there also you can perform many kind of application to fight COVID-19 also, like temperature monitoring, data sending, patient data sending on the cloud. That also you can do it. Many application you can do it using that IoT. So now you can see over here introduction to Raspberry Pi. So Raspberry Pi is a credit card size computer, and what is exactly it is? It is a credit card size computer, and you can do many multitasking over there. So these are parameters of that Raspberry Pi, like their operating frequency, their processor, Bluetooth is also included in that, Wi-Fi is also included, 4 USB port, 40 GPIO pins. GPIO stand for General Purpose Input Output Pins, full HDMI ports, Ethernet ports, camera interface, display interface, micro SD card slot, video cores. So these features are available in the Raspberry Pi. So now latest Raspberry Pi came in the market, that is Raspberry Pi 4. That is also advanced Raspberry Pi with having a feature of 4 GB RAM. So 4 GB RAM you can use it over there, and that is working as a computer also. So you can use it, that device, for gaming platform also. So this one is a Raspberry Pi. These are feature of Raspberry Pi that you can see. So over here you will be able to see it, all the features. So first one is, you can see this one is a USB port. So this one is a HDMI port. These are GPIO pins, general purpose input output pin, and these are onboard Bluetooth module over here. Micro SD card you can insert from over here. These are display, DSI display port. Then after that this one is a audio jack. So these are USB port over here. This one is Ethernet LAN cable, and all these things. This one is a Broadcom processor over here. That is 1 GB RAM configuration is available in Raspberry Pi 3B plus, model B plus, that you can see. So now how you can use it? So these are application of that Raspberry Pi. You can make supercomputer also using this. So these are some biomedical application of that Raspberry Pi that you can see it over here. You can connect all the sensors with it, and you can send data on the cloud also. So this application also solar Raspberry Pi power pack. So you can monitor solar panel or whatever you want to do it, that also you can do it. So these are GPIO pins in model A and B. So there are different GPIO pins for input and output purpose. So this one is a Raspberry Pi 3 and 4. There is same GPIO pins. So over there is 40 GPIO pins. 40 mean 40. 40 GPIO pins. GPIO stand for general purpose input output pin. So these pins we can use it for input output, and 28 pins we can use it for input output, but all other pins are ground, VCC, and all that. So there are 2, 3, 4 ground, and then 3, 4 VCC, mean 5 volt and 3.3 volt. So these are separate things. So when you are going to start Raspberry Pi, you need these devices. Raspberry Pi, then your power adapter for 2 ampere, then that mobile charger also you can use it. Then after that you can use that a monitor. So monitor for displaying the Raspberry Pi screen using HDMI cable, and then you can use memory card reader or memory card micro SD card for inserting inside it. Then after that you can use mouse and keyboard. But how you can use it without any device? If you don't have any mouse, keyboard and monitor, just you need your power adapter and your memory card. With the help of that also you can run it. How you can do it, that I'm going to share with you how you can do it, and how you can control Raspberry Pi from the remote area, how you can do it. So that I'm going to share with you how to set up your first things. To insert memory card, make it bootable. Bootable means that Raspbian image you have to burn it. Then after that you can connect all the appliance and your device will be ready to use. So these are operating system that you can use in a Raspberry Pi, like Fedora, Raspbian. Raspbian is their by default operating system, that is the original operating system of Raspberry Pi. Then Debian, then Linux also you can use it. Kali Linux also you can use it. Many more also available in the market, that also you can use it free of cost. These all our operating system are open source. If you are going to use in your institutions as a computer, you can use it, and you don't need to pay any license for that, and you will be able to run it. And you will be able to perform all the tasks like Excel, Office, Word, everything you will be able to do it. Programming also you can do it. So these are bigger picture of GPIO pins. So these are some useful resource for Raspberry Pi. So now what I'm going to tell you, I'm going to show you practically that how you can use it. For that, but you have to do it. So everything I'm going to tell you over here. So I'm going to disconnect my Arduino. Yes. So let me share with you my Raspberry Pi, that how Raspberry Pi is looking. So let me share with you my Raspberry Pi. Okay, this one is my Raspberry Pi. So over here you can see it. This one is Raspberry Pi. So in Raspberry Pi you can see this one is with cover. Raspberry Pi 3B plus. This one is Raspberry Pi 3B plus. You can see it. So these are GPIO pins over here, upper side. So this one is Raspberry Pi that you have seen earlier. These are HDMI ports, then power charging power port, and this one is audio port over here that you can see it. So these are ports over here. So now I'm going to use it. So how you can use it? We cannot do it with software only, without hardware. We need a hardware for this. Yes. So now what I'm going to do, I'm going to upload, going to give power with this USB cable. I'm going to connect it with my power bank. You can connect with power bank, or you can give power to your computer also. I'm going to use my computer or my laptop for powering it. I'm going to give power to this device. Now power is on to my Raspberry Pi. So I have not connected any USB mouse or any keyboard or any monitor. I connected nothing. I just only connected this power port. And I have used my memory card over here. That is, this one is inserted already. That is booted with their image of Raspbian. So now it is working. So now I have to check it out. Okay, it is working now. So now what we have to do after running it, after giving power to this device, what we have to do it, we have to use some softwares. So first of all, this one device is by default connected with my mobile hotspot. So let me check with my mobile hotspot that this device is connected or not. Let me enable my Wi-Fi hotspot and do my setting over here. Okay, so let me check it. So I'm going to share with you also. That is very important point. So I did initial setup in my bootable image of Raspbian. Over there I just set up my Wi-Fi name, And now this device is connected with my mobile phone. So I'm going to share with you how you will able to see it, that is, it is connected with your device or not. Okay, let me share with you on mobile phone, and you will able to control your Raspberry Pi with mobile phone also. That is very interesting part. So it's taking time. Let it connect, and meanwhile I'm going to open one more software. So let me open it. So what we have to do it, first let me share with you screen. Okay. So let it minimize. So over here I'm going to share with you my screen. Yes, this one is my contact detail. If anyone faces any difficulty during making any kind of IoT based smart device, they can contact me. That is 8396 000 340, and I'm available on the Facebook also, and on the Twitter and Insta also. Over there also you will find with the name of Ajay Godara, and I will able to find it. Okay, so this one is my mail ID, innovateskill@gmail.com. And we are also going to conduct student training program, that is summer industrial training program. If anyone is willing to join that training program, that is fully hands-on training, that also you can join it. So yeah, let me come back to my Raspberry Pi. So yes, so first of all, what you have to do it, you have to on your hotspot, mobile hotspot, and after that, what you can do, I'm going to open few software. So I'm going to use VNC Viewer. So VNC Viewer app you have to install in your computers. Then you have to open it. So after opening it, you have to type your IP address of Raspberry Pi. So how you will find that IP address of your Raspberry Pi? So that IP address you have to check on your mobile phone. So that I'm going to share with you that how you can check IP address of your mobile phone. So after checking your IP address, that IP address you have to type it, and you will able to share your screen of mobile phone. So let me share with you that IP address. Okay, this one is my screen. So now you can see it. This one is my mobile screen. Over there, connected device on Raspberry Pi is connected with my hotspot. So I have to click over here. As I will click, it will show my IP address of Raspberry Pi. This one is saying that 192.168.43.212. So after that, I have to go back to my Raspberry Pi, and I can use it on mobile phone also. So how you can control your Raspberry Pi with mobile phone, that I'm going to share with you right now. So first of all, you have to connect your network with your computer network, and your Raspberry Pi network should be same. So now what I'm going to do, I'm going to share with you my screen. Yes. So now I'm going to connect Raspberry Pi with my mobile phone. Let's see how you can do it. So first of all, you have to open VNC Viewer. So where is my VNC Viewer? That is not available, I think, over here. Yes, this one is over here. Let me go back. This one is VNC Viewer. So that app you have to install it in your mobile phone. I think this one got disconnected. Let me connect it again. Okay, this one is your VNC Viewer app. Again, I'm going to share with you how you can open it. Open this VNC Viewer app, install it with Play Store, and I'm going to open it. I'm going to control Raspberry Pi with my mobile phone. Then you have to click on plus button, and you have to add your device. So you can type your IP address 192.168.43.212. Then your computer name, you can type any name. Create. So I have created it. So I'm going to connect it. So how you can connect it? Click on connect. Then it is going to connect it. It is asking username, that is Pi, and password of my Raspberry Pi is, I'm not going to tell you. If you can see it, that is good. So now after that, we have to make it done. Continue. So now you can see this one is my mobile Raspberry Pi screen. What is this? This one is my Raspberry Pi screen. Now you can see it. Okay. So that Raspberry Pi screen I have seen over here. This one is my mouse cursor. Now I'm controlling with my mobile phone. You can see on the video also. This one is my mobile screen, and you are able to see it. Now whatever operation I want to do it, that I can do it. Like I want to see all the features, programs, internet, graphics, preference, run, shutdowns, graphic image viewer, sound programs. You can do programming in Node-RED and Python also. So that programming you can do it, and you will be able to interface anything whatever you want to do it. If you want to see any PDF file, calculators, Office also you can add on over here, text editor also, terminals, all the commands you can open it over there. So if any command you have to type it, you can use over here this terminal window, and over there you can type your command. So over there you can use their keyboard also. This one is keyboard, so I'm going to type get update sudo. So we have to type sudo get update. So when you're going to do get update, so it will get update. It will get updated. So I'm going to do it. So after that we have to make it okay. Sudo get apt update. So after that what you have to do? You have to press enter over here. Let me make it enter. Entry. This one is your enter over here. So after pressing enter, it will start updating. It's saying that some issue with that. Get update. Sudo apt get update. We have to type it. So sudo apt get update. Apt underscore get, and after that update. Then you have to press enter. So after that it will start updating. So your Raspberry Pi will start updating, and you are going to control with mobile phone. So whatever you want to do with your Raspberry Pi, if Raspberry Pi at remote area also, then also you will able to control it. You will able to program it over there with your mobile phone, so that you can do it. So this one is updating now. It is take some time, very small time it will take is to update it. So if you want to upgrade it, update means if there is any latest package available, so it will check it and it will update it. So that it is doing it. So after that, let me come back to mobile. So let it come back to screen of computer. Okay. So now I'm coming back to it will get updated, and after that we have to go to mobile. In computer also we can open it. So same IP address we have to type it over here. So I'm doing it in my computer 192.168.43. Then you can find 212, and then it is asking about password. Password you have to type it. Yes, this one is your Raspberry Pi screen. So it is installing all the package and updating it. So same screen you will able to see in your mobile phone, and same screen you will able to see in your laptop. So two person also control it simultaneously. So this one got updating, it got done. So this one is my screen of Raspberry Pi. So you can do anything whatever you want to do with a Raspberry Pi. So that can be done, and after that you can run it. So now if you want to create any file or any input or output, if you want to go give it this Raspberry Pi, that also you can give it. So now I'm going to share with you how you can control this Raspberry Pi with the same cloud. So you have to go to that cloud, same cloud. Yes. Yes, sudo apt get update. Yes, very good. That command we have to use it. Yes, this one is the Raspberry Pi. I'm going to check it out that my device is connected or not. So I have already updated that command. Yes, this one is Raspberry Pi, that is live. So I'm going to click it. So as I have given power to my Raspberry Pi, it's connected automatically because I have run that command already. So it's saying that CPU uses RAM, storage, and temperature also of Raspberry Pi, network speed, and reboot and shutdown. From over here also you can control your Raspberry Pi, and you can control these GPIO pins, like which one pin you want to make it high, low. So these all GPIO pins are over here. Pin number, values, device, mode. So that also you can control it from over here. So this one is about Raspberry Pi. So if you want to configuration it, so that also you can change to configuration with the name of device, their properties, their IP address, remove device, one wire. So everything if you want to connect it, that also you can connect it. UART also you want to enable it, that also you can do it. So again, go to overview. So now you are going to control a Raspberry Pi with cloud. Yes, how to connect it a cloud. I'm going to explain it again also. That for that, what we have to do it, go to device and widget and click over here. How you can do it? Click on this Raspberry Pi, and over there are two commands. So this command you have to run it. So I'm going to copy first command. So first command I'm going to copy it from over here. So this command you have to copy it. I'm going to copy it, and then after that go to Raspberry Pi. So this one is my Raspberry Pi screen. So over there in this command mode, you have to paste the command that you have copied. WET we get this address. We have to pick their libraries and we have to enter it. So after pressing enter, it will connect with same cloud and it is connected with IP address and it's saving all the libraries and upgrading it. So after that, we have to run it. So for that, we have to use second command. So second command is over here, sudo base RPI. This one is some program over here that will get run in that library for running it, for connecting it with the cloud. So after that, I'm going to run this second command for Raspberry Pi. So this one is under processing. Let me see it if it is completing. So yes, it is completed. So we have to paste our command over here. So I'm going to paste it. This one is second command. You can enter it. So this one is connected now. So it's connecting with Raspberry Pi. It will take some time to connect, installing device agents. So that same thing you can see on the cloud also. So when you are going in a cloud, now same thing is happening over here. Same thing is happening in the Raspberry Pi, and it's saying that library is updating, agent is updating. So same thing is happening on Raspberry Pi, and same thing is running on the cloud that you can see. So it's library updating, agent updating, software component updating, device driver, and then it will reboot it, and it will take maximum 10 minutes to install it. So it will not take 10 minutes because I have already installed it. So these are steps. I mean, everything is done. Rebooting Pi will Pi, and it is screen or screen. I shared with you previously. So let it complete. Let it reboot. So it is rebooting it right now. Yes. So I think reboot is complete. So it's saying internet connection is not stable. Okay, now you can see it. That same screen came over here. That you can see it over there. So all the temperatures, reboot, control buttons, you will be able to see it. So now I'm coming back to Raspberry Pi. So over there, what you can use it, you can use different commands over there, and you can create some file over there also. And let me show you how you can give input and output from the Raspberry Pi also. Let's come back to Raspberry Pi. Yes, so I'm coming back to that Raspberry Pi. Yes, this one is my Raspberry Pi. So this is my Raspberry Pi because it's getting rebooted again. So now I'm going to use few important application over here in this Raspberry Pi. So these are your files, all the files you will be able to see. So there are few programs over here, like there are few files. If you want to open any file, so you have to use some Linux command over there because this Raspberry Pi is based on Linux. So these are few my files over here. So these are BlinkC, ledblink.py, Python code also you can run it, Python file also you can compile it, embedded C also you can use it. Though the same coding you are going to do in Arduino, the same coding you can also do it over here in Raspberry Pi also, and you can use Python also. So both you can use it. So over here, this one is file abcc.py. If I want to open it, how I can open it? So abcc.py. So let me open this file. So we have to go to this and we have to type nano and abcc. So there is 2c, I think. ab3c abcc dot python dot py. So this one is in Python. So I'm going to open that script over here dot py. So after that you have to enter it. So your file will get opened. So this there is nothing data. So there is only random data I just typed over here. So you can open any file also, and if you want to create any file, that also you can create it. So over here you can do Control X. It will get stopped. If you want to create new file, that also you can create with nano command. So I'm going to type in nano. I'm going to create iot.py or .c file. If I'm going to create .c file, then it will be created a embedded C file. So I'm going to open it. This one is my file. So anything I'm going to type over here, so that can be saved over here. Then after that you can do Control X, and it is and now I want to open it. So nano iot.c. So this file get open whatever I have typed. Okay. So similar way, now I'm going to open few more files. So let me go back. There are few files based on you can see blink.c. This one is a LED blink examples using embedded C. So this one I'm going to open it. So let me open it. How I can open it? So for that we have to go to command mode, and we have to see that how we have to written code. So I'm going to use blink.c. So for that we have to use nano blink.c. Then after that click it. So your file will get open. So this one is my program of LED blinking in Raspberry Pi using embedded C. So you can include this library. This one is a wiring Pi library that you have to use it, and then you have to use over here this include studio.h, because in Arduino these things are not required, those are embedded, but over here you have to use it. Then this one I have defined pin number, that is 0 number pin, that is GPIO 0. So that I will let you know which one pin is that 0. So then after that we have to use void setup. So in void setup we have to define pin number. So this one is wiring Pi setup. So LED pin output, and after that I'm going to use while conditions. In while conditions I'm going to use digital write LED pin high, delay, digital write LED pin low, then delay. So that program I'm going to use for infinite loop. This one is a while infinite loop, and this file we can run it. For running it we have to use this sudo underscore dot blink, that we have to use it. So this one is for compilation, so I'm going to directly run it. So this one is 0 number pin. So which one is 0 number pin in Raspberry Pi, in wiring Pi? So that what is physical pin, that I will let you know how you can do it. So let me run it, and you can copy this command. So you can do Control X. So now if you want to run it, so you can use that command, paste it. So that command was sudo dot underscore and the blink. So it's running, it's saying that welcome to Innovate Skill Raspberry Pi blink program, plus Control C to exit. So this program is running on my Raspberry Pi. So I have to connect one LED on my Raspberry Pi on 0 number pin. So let me show that 0 number pin over here. So let me Control X, Control C, exit it. So read all. So it's reading it. So we have to see that GPIO pins over here in wiring Pi. So that command, let me make it Control X, Control C. Okay. And GCC read all. That command is exactly over here. So anyway, I'm directly going to run it, and I'm going to share with you that GPIO pins over here. So let me come back to that file. Okay. So over here, but the GPIO pin is 11 number physical pin over here. GPIO 0. With you that a pin we have selected for GPIO. Yes. So over here we have used the GPIO pins. These are GPIO pins. So you can see over here which one is GPIO 0 and all that. So these pins over here, that 17 number pin, GPIO 17 is GPIO 0 in these pins are wiring pipe. These pins are Broadcom. So if you are going to program with Python, then you have to use these pins, and you are going to program with embedded C, then you have to use these pins. So GPIO 0 is 11 number pin. So I'm going to connect LED on 11 number pin, and I'm going to see that it is working or not. So let's see how it is working. So I'm going to connect LED on 11 number pin and ground. So I have to connect in my hardware. So I'm going to do it in physical pin. So this one is my ground. So 11 number pin and 12 number pin is 9 number pin is ground. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. 9 number pin I'm going to connect with the ground. And then after that 11 number pin I'm going to connect with LED positive. That I connected over here, 9 number pin and 11 number pin. So 2 pins I have connected with my Raspberry Pi. Now I'm coming back to do any kind of program with blinking or whatever you want to do it. So let me go back to my Raspberry Pi. Yes. Over here, what we have to do it, we have to run our same command. That is sudo dot blink dot under one dot slash, sorry, dot slash hyphen, what we can call it, blink, and after that we have to run it. So as I'm going to run it, you can see my LED is blinking. So this LED is connected on my Raspberry Pi. So this LED is blinking over here with the interval of 1 second. So if you want to change interval, that also we can do it, and we have to change program over there. So if I want to make it fast, so how you can do it? So Control C. So we have to edit that file. So that file I'm going to edit it. nanoblink.c. Over there I'm going to make it fast blinking. So for that, what we have to do it, we have to reduce that delay time. So I'm going to make it 300. Sorry. So we have to take mouse cursor over there, and we have to change it. Make it 3. This one is 300. And again at lower side also I'm going to make it 300. So after that we have to save it. So how you can save it? Do Control X. It will ask about save, type Y, and then enter it. So again, if you want to run it, so same command you have to use it, sudo run. So now you can see my LED is blinking with fast rate. So I think LED speed is same. So let me check it again. My program gets saved or not. So go to this again, open your file, nano. I think my program will not get changed over here. Yes, it is get changed. So now it is working with 300 millisecond delay time. So let me make it Control X and run it again. Yes. So this one is working over here with a fast speed now. So that similar way you can program over here, and whatever code you want to run over here, whatever sensor you want to interface, that you can do it in a very simple way. So let me make it Control X, Control C. Yes. So maximum thing you have to do using command mode, so that you can do it and you will be able to run it over here in a very simple way. So any file if you want to create, that also you can do it. If you want to run any code in a Python, that also you can run it. So this file I'm going to open it, and then you can create it your own also. So I'm going to open it with this Python code. Because due to limited time, I'm just going to show you quickly. So I'm going to open, you can use nano LED blink .py. So how to write Python code? So over here you can see it. First you have to import time library, you have to import it. Then you have to import GPIO pins. Then you have to import that Broadcom pin. So sorry, that you have to set up Broadcom pin. So that 17 you can use as a out. So over here 17 number is GPIO pin. That 17 number is GPIO pin. I think there was some connectivity issue. Okay, now am I audible to everyone? Voice is audible to everyone? सबको आवाज सुनाई दे रही है? Am I audible?
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
Audible to all the participants?
Yes, sir.
Yes, thank you so much. So now over here what we can do, you can use Python. So this one is a Python setup. First of all, you are going to use 17 number GPIO pin output, and you are going to use 27 also GPIO pin output. These both pin are simultaneously, that is 11 number and 30 number pin in a physical pins. So you can use the while condition. So turn up LED on. So you can set up GPIO dot output 17 number GPIO high, 17 number output low, then time sleep, then after that GPIO output low high. So you can make pattern of 2 LEDs, then it will work for infinite time. That is Python code. So after that we have to make it control X, and we can run it sudo, and then after that you can use that file, that is LED blink blink dot py. So you can execute it. Plus sudo LED blink command not find. Okay. So let me see that command to run it. Nano ls sudo nano. Okay, these are my previous command that you will be able to see over here. So for that I have to use sudo led.py led blink. That syntax is same. So directly also we can run it also. So how you can run it? So I'm going to use it directly. So this one is my live file. You can run it directly. So open with command, open path, rename it. Open text editor, open this Python editor. So over there also you can run it. So let me open it. These are things over there. You can open it with command line, custom line also you can open it. So I'm going to open with Jenny, my programmer. Again open it. Text editor, Jenny. Over there also you will able to, this one is your program, and you will able to compile it, and you will able to run it also. Run to view current file. You can run it. Now you can see my LED is blinking. As I'm going to run it, my LED is blinking. So that you can run it. So it's running over there in particular location. So that Python script also you can run it. So that also you can do it. So now I'm going to sum up it over here. Now if any participant having any kind of doubt, now you can see this one is running. Runtime, this channel is yes, you can do X, Control C. This will get stopped. So now I'm coming back to yes, Jenny to run Python 3, that I'm going to use it. Yes, sudo Python. Yes, Python also we have to mention it to run it. Sudo Python led blink.py. Yes, that we have to do it. Yes, these are simple warning because we are going to use it for 2 times. So don't worry about it. Mean it is working right now. So that the command also you can use it sudo python dot led blink. With the help of that also you can run it. Okay. So thank you so much. Hope you enjoyed it. Hope you liked it. So these are my contact details that I shared with you earlier also. So one student training program we are going to run right now. So that program you can join it and you can run all these things in a detail. Yes. So these are my contact details that I shared with you. If any doubt, any queries you are having, that you can now. You can WhatsApp me, you can call me anytime if you want to join that student training program. That is very effective training program. You can learn it and you will get certificate also. That is industrial training certificate you will get, and you are going to learn via online mode. Okay. So let me stop sharing over here. Yes. So now if you are having any kind of query that you can ask over here. Yes. So is there any kind of queries if you want to know that you can ask? So thank you so much to all the participants. Thank you so much.
There are no queries. So I request HOD sir to stop to the gathering.
Yes.
Thank you very much, sir. For your
So one
valuable
thing I
session
shared
and
with you yesterday also, that we many videos related to Raspberry Pi that is available on our YouTube channel also, that Innovate Skill e-learning. So over there you will find in more detail IoT application and IoT based some devices. So that channel you can subscribe it, and over there you will find lot of information over there related to this IoT.
Thank you, Ajay sir.
Okay, thank you so
Thank
much.
you very
Hope you
much.
enjoyed it. So I shared my contact number over here, and that you can contact me anytime whenever you feel any kind of difficulty in your circuit making or any kind of product designing also.
Yes, sir.
I shared my contact number with you all. Yes. So maximum time I'm available in a WhatsApp, not in a call, because
Hello. Hello.
best practice. So thank you so much to all. Hope you enjoyed it.
Yeah,
Thank
yeah,
you so
yeah.
much.
Thank you, Ajay sir. You have given a lot of information regarding IoT as well as embedded systems. Patient, you have.
Sir, we are not able to hear your voice. Admin, sir, we are not
Yes,
able to
yes.
hear your voice. I think the
Hello.
mic is not unmuted.
Hello. Yes, thank you very much, sir, for your valuable session. You have given wonderful information regarding IoT, right? I thank all the participants also for your patient listening, as well as
So thank
I
you
thought,
to all
I
the
think,
participants.
yeah, yeah. I think all of you get benefited out of
Sir,
it.
should I leave over here?
Yeah, 1 second, sir, 1 second. Yeah. Now I request Dr.
No, sir, I'm
Ganesh.
not able to hear from your voice. I'm not able to hear. Oh, sorry, sorry, my mic is, my volume is stopped. Yes,
Yeah.
yes, now, please, yes.
Yeah,
Sorry,
thank you
sir.
very much, sir, for your valuable session, and you have given the wonderful information regarding IoT. In fact, I have taken FDP under you in Atal workshop in the month of May. I'm very much impressed your teaching, and in future we need your help to support the students in projects as well as giving training programs also. So I thank you very much, and I thank all the participants who have participated in this program, and I hope everyone get benefited out of it. Now I request Dr. Ganesh to give vote of thanks.
Thank you, Srinivas sir. A very good afternoon, everyone. Myself, Ganesh, Associate Professor from the Department of ECE, GVP College of Women's. Deems it a great honor and privilege to propose a vote of thanks to this event. First and foremost, I thank our resource person, Ajay Kumar Godara, founder and director of Innovate Skills Labs. who despite his busy schedule has accepted our request and shared his knowledge with us. And also I thank the college management, our principal, Professor KVS Rao sir, Vice Principal Professor G. Sudhir sir, Director Professor E.V. Prasad sir, and R&D Director Professor K. Rajarajeshwari ma'am for the unstinted support for this event. Also, I express my heartfelt thanks to heads of various departments and the faculty for the guidance and encouragement in all our efforts. And I also express my heartfelt thanks to Mr. C. Srinivas sir, Associate Professor, Department of IT, and PVK Chaitanya sir, Assistant Professor, Department of ECE, for their valuable contributions. And last but not the least, I thank all the participants for the cooperation in making the workshop a resounding success. Thank you all. Thank you, sir. Chaitanya, anything to be communicated to participants about feedback, certificate, and all? You can proceed. Thank you, everyone.
Thank you, Ajay sir, once again.
Will be in Google Classroom.
You can unmute, sir. Ajay sir, you can unmute.
Okay, thank you, sir. Thank you so much for providing me this opportunity, and I'm very happy that all the participants are so much active and so much intelligent also. That earlier I used to teach all the participants in training faculty development program also from the basic, but all the participants are well understood about basic concept. So it's very helpful for me to go with the speed. So that's a great thing that I find over here. That's wonderful thing.
We need your cooperation in future also, sir. This should be continuous.
Yes, sir. Yes. Thank you so much. It would be my pleasure. Thank you so much.
Yeah, thank you. Chaitanya.
Yeah, okay. So for all the participants, your feedback form will be given in the Google Classroom, and your certificates will be given to you or sent through mail in 2 days. So after you complete all the feedback form and all your assignments and quizzes. So please see that in the Google Classroom you mark as done, so that I know that you have done. So otherwise, in the Google Classroom, we will not be notified that you have done that particular thing. Okay. So see that under your works, everything is complete. So then the certificates through email. So please be active on the Google Classroom. So everything will be notified in Google Classroom. Okay, sir. So any doubts? Please explain the process to register. Google Classroom, you have to join using your Gmail, madam. So not your college or institute mail. So use a Gmail, you can log into your Google Classroom. So classroom.google.com. Yes, you will be having a small assignment and a quiz today. Along with that, a feedback form. So no more queries, I think so. So we shall close the session. So I'll be sending the recording of today's session also in your Google Classroom. Okay, thank you. So code well, use your Arduino skills well, do great projects. Sir, I am ending the meeting.